America's tourism industry is on the verge of going under. Furthermore, don't assume that it is just a one-time error. They are uneasy. They are not accepted. I was planning a trip to Los Angeles to visit a friend. However, we decided to go to Mexico instead. I think it's a great idea because I think the USA is currently doing terrible things. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, the tourism industry in states lost over $29 billion. Nor is it just a number. It is the source of income for millions of Americans. In many places, tourism is more than just a job. But thousands of hotels are now vacant, and tens of thousands of workers have had their hours cut. And if this trend continues, a complete collapse is inevitable. Don't stop watching the video, because you might be surprised by the last state on the list. Once unbeatable, an iconic tourist destination is now in danger of going completely under. Many people today can only hope to have enough money to buy breakfast. If you've ever imagined a sunny Miami morning, Florida used to be the top retirement destination, attracting summer vacationers from all over the country. But by 2025, that reputation had steadily deteriorated. Now, away from the crowds and hustle, this is Florida. Instead, there are empty resorts and beaches. There are signs promoting Clearwater's sale. The once crowded amusement parks are now cutting back on their hours of operation due to a drop in attendance. Brenda Brown, a middle-aged Canadian tourist, said, "Unfortunately, I believe the two countries are neighbors and should be able to get along. It will limit the frequency of our trips back to the United States. Even a small policy flaw can have a big impact on emotions. And if visitors no longer feel welcome, they won't come back, no matter how alluring the golden sun or the blue sea may be. We considered maybe buying a property in Florida, but now we may reconsider that, and Mexico is looking quite appealing," the Pressman family added. The family had planned to relocate to Florida after retirement and had already spent multiple winters there. The consequences of Canadian tourists stopping their travels go beyond empty hotels and beaches. It also affects an entire economy that is feeling anxious. According to the most recent statistics, Florida's tourism industry directly supports about 1.2 million jobs. In just the first 3 months of the year, this number has decreased by nearly 17%. It's not just unemployment. Restaurants, gift shops, small businesses, and transit services are all going out of business one by one. Many families have lost their source of income. Young people leave the state in search of work, leaving behind an elderly, worn-out, and anxious populace. Applications like Neighbor Food and Volunteer Florida have expanded their programs to provide temporary job placement and food assistance to those who have lost their jobs in the service industry. It is only a temporary fix, though, and it won't win back the lost trust. If Florida, the pinnacle of American tourism, loses its allure, what will keep this state's economy afloat? Is this a temporary hardship or a permanent change? We want to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below. If you think Florida has gone too far, the next part will shock people even more because America's brightest lights are about to go out. Las Vegas, the city of lights, entertainment, and endless nights, is vanishing. There are no longer any concerts, casinos, or performance spaces that once attracted millions of people. Taxis sit idle in the lot. The pub is currently without music. Mr. Richard Clevet, the owner of an inn that has been serving Canadian travelers for 35 years, moaned. At one point I thought, oh boy, should we rename our reservation office to the cancellation office? The economy of the state of Nevada is primarily dependent on tourism. 65% of Las Vegas's GDP comes from this industry. In the first half of 2025, the unemployment rate increased by 23% in the hotel and entertainment sectors. A more than 40% decline in reservations on the Vegas Strip cost the city billions of dollars in revenue. Many families who have employees in related occupations, like weightlifters, cleaning staff, and lighting technicians, risk not being able to pay their rent. Now, instead of being a dream, Las Vegas seems to be a gloomy memory of a generation. People are searching for work online using platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. For older people, though, it is not a transition. Las Vegas used to be a symbol of luxury and opportunity. But if those lights go out, will someone still come to light them again? Or have we already transcended the era of collective dreams without even realizing it? The next state on this list is a well-liked vacation spot that receives millions of visitors annually, but now no one is brave enough to go there. From Hawaii, greetings. Hawaii is no longer a popular destination for tourists from other countries. There are now fewer tour routes from Honolulu to Maui. Many vacation businesses have foreign tourists from South Korea, Japan, and Australia, who are the backbone of Hawaii's tourism industry and who have all but stopped returning. Even domestic travel has drastically decreased due to high travel costs and concerns about unstable economies. In the past, tourism accounted for roughly 21% of Hawaii's GDP. However, just in the first half of 2025, this revenue has dropped by nearly half. On the island of Maui, the personal homestay vacancy rate is at its highest point since the outbreak. The inability to pay property taxes is becoming more common, especially in coastal vacation communities. Due to the steep drop in real salaries and the ongoing high cost of living, many residents are in a difficult financial situation. An elderly couple used to rent out their Airbnb apartment on the beach in Lahaina. For nearly a decade, it was their main source of income, which allowed them to support their way of life and raise their grandchildren. However, they are unable to pay taxes because they haven't had any clients since the beginning of this year. The 68-year-old husband disclosed, "I never imagined we would have to mortgage the house we built ourselves to survive on this land." Along with its revenue, Hawaii is gradually losing the soul of its community. These days, community identification values, such as luau celebrations and the friendly spirit of aloha, have diminished. The number of personal bankruptcies is rising. Many residents are compelled to move to neighboring states in search of work, leaving behind empty homes and desolate streets. A picturesque scene is on the verge of disappearing. Some people in Hawaii are starting to use personal finance support services like SoFi or income replacement insurance from MassMutual to protect their assets and maintain cash flow during emergencies. Can it survive in smaller states? Texas had previously faced comparable difficulties with the decline in domestic travel in 2022, but they were able to achieve some success after refocusing on medical travel and rural getaways. So why, with more resources, hasn't Hawaii? Have you ever been to Hawaii? Will this place eventually be forgotten, or will it be revitalized? Sometimes your story is all that remains to protect Hawaii's place in American history, so please share your thoughts below. Just wait until you see New York. Visits to well-known museums like the MoMA and EMTT, as well as bus tours around Manhattan, have drastically decreased. The hotel and tourism industry in New York saw a 38% drop in revenue from the same period in 2024. In central areas like Manhattan and Brooklyn, the tourism and service sectors lost over 12,000 jobs in the first 4 months of 2025. Businesses were unable to remain in the tourism industry, even though commercial rental rates had dropped by about 20%. People are losing their jobs. Small businesses can't succeed, and the once vibrant streets have become rather desolate. Other financial institutions, like Acorns, are offering emergency expenditure management solutions for urban unemployed people, while Chime is marketing cashback and fee-free salary advance packages for shaky workers. Initiatives such as NYC Small Business Services, which have launched programs to support small businesses in the tourism sector, have not yet affected the working class. If a city like New York, which has been a well-liked tourist destination for over a century, can't maintain its tourism rhythm, what does that mean for smaller cities? Have you ever been to New York? Which place, if any, do you remember the most clearly? Please share your thoughts below to help us remember the streets that once represented the American dream. And if you think that only big cities can fail, you'll have to think about the next state. There are no longer any songs being sung. Welcome to Tennessee. The streets of Nashville used to be filled with music, but this year the only noise is the quiet shutting of store doors. Previously open from dawn until night, Broadway bars are now closing alternately. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, Tennessee's entertainment and event planning industry lost over $400 million in U.S. sales. The hotel occupancy rate in downtown Nashville dropped by more than 35%. The number of independent performing artists moving or applying for funding has doubled since 2024. Music festivals like Bonnaroo and CMA Fest, which once drew hundreds of thousands of people, are now struggling due to low ticket sales. The tour buses are no longer in motion. The gift industry is losing customers. The city depends on music, but no one comes to listen these days. When the stage closes, artists not only lose their jobs, but they also lose a part of themselves. Now, people are leaving. If you found this coverage of America's tourism crisis insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates and in-depth analysis. Your support helps us continue exploring stories that matter, shedding light on challenges faced by communities across the country. Stay informed with the latest developments, hear from experts and locals, and join the conversation about the future of tourism and economic recovery. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to sharing more important stories with you soon.